All right, we're not just going to talk about a movie today. No, we are opening up an investigation. We're going to pull back the curtain on a film you think you know to expose something that's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. This is the story of how Hollywood got its hands on a piece of pure literary dynamite and very, very carefully diffused it for the masses.
You know the line. It's one of the most famous quotes in all of modern film. It's the perfect little anti-consumerist slogan, right? We hear it, we nod along, we feel like, yeah, we get it. But the real conspiracy here isn't about what the line says. It's about who is saying it, and maybe more importantly, who's selling it back to us.
And that really brings us right to the heart of this whole thing. The film version of Fight Club is an absolute masterclass in cinematic sleight of hand. It takes this raw, angry, nihilistic novel and just polishes it. It turns it into something kind of romantic, something thrilling, something Hollywood.
So, what we're about to dive into, it's not just some simple book versus movie rundown. Oh no. We are going to lay out the evidence, piece by piece, of how a story that ends in total psychological horror was meticulously rebuilt into a blockbuster hit. And the biggest twist of all? The author himself actually loved the changes. He applauded them. It was the perfect creative heist.
Okay, so every good investigation starts with the evidence. And for us, our first exhibit is all about the main players, because their very DNA was fundamentally changed for the big screen. Let's just think about how we first meet Tyler Durden. In the book, he just appears on a nude beach, of all places. He's this weird, almost godlike creator figure. The movie scraps that completely. Instead, he's a single-serving friend you meet on an airplane. He's a product of the very corporate world he claims he wants to burn down. And that one little change, it makes him cooler, right? More relatable, and a whole lot less like a dangerous ghost. And then you've got Marla. In the novel, the narrator's desperate need to protect her, to keep her safe, is actually what helps him break free from Tyler's grip. But the screenwriter for the movie literally said he saw the story as a romantic comedy. A romantic comedy. So Marla gets a new job. She's not a catalyst for escape anymore. She's the prize. She's the girl you get at the end. So, okay, the characters have been rewired. Now let's look at the motive. Exhibit B, the philosophy at the core of this whole thing. Because this is where the message really starts to get twisted. You have to understand, the book is just drenched in nihilism. It is a scream into the abyss. Chuck Palahniuk basically wrote it as a giant middle finger to the publishing world. The book's message is that if life has no meaning, then maybe blowing it all up is a totally valid choice. The film, though, it kind of puts that idea on trial. And this, right here, this is the central debate the movie wants you to have. It's a question the book honestly never really bothers to ask. The film gives you two very different versions of Tyler and then lets you, the audience, decide which one you like better. And man, the movie sells the hero angle hard. Tyler is cool, he's smart, he's everything our narrator isn't. He's got all the answers. He's telling a whole generation of guys that they're not their jobs, they're not their stupid khaki pants, that they can be something more. And wow, is that a seductive message? But the hypocrisy? I mean, it's right there in front of you. Tyler's preaching against systems of control while he's building his own army of identical space monkeys. He says to reject brands, but he creates the most powerful brand of all, Fight Club itself. He's literally selling rebellion as just another form of conformity. Okay, now let's talk about the method of the crime, the style. Because how David Fincher tells this story is every bit as important as the plot changes. This is how he got us all on board. This is the seduction. I mean, this slide says it all, right? Reading Palahniuk's novel feels like you're getting punched in the face. It's chaotic, it's raw. Fincher swaps all that messy energy for this super cool, slick, sensory overload. He's flashing subliminal frames of Tyler at you, he's got this pounding soundtrack. He makes anarchy look beautiful. He makes it look seductive. He makes it look cool. And now we come to it. The final, most damning piece of evidence in the whole case. The ending. This is the smoking gun. This is where the entire conspiracy is laid bare. This is where Hollywood cashes its check. Just look at this side by side. It's staggering. In the book, the big plan is to blow up a museum, a purely nihilistic attack on culture itself. The film changes the target to credit card companies, a populist fantasy the audience can actually cheer for. The book ends with our guy locked in a mental hospital while his revolution goes on without him.
The movie? It ends with him holding hands with Marla, watching the city skyline explode to a Pixies song. It's a romantic, chaotic, strangely triumphant apocalypse. And there it is, the motive, straight from the director's mouth. Fincher knew the book was way too in love with Tyler. To make a hit movie, he had to make the audience love the idea of Tyler, but ultimately be perfectly fine with watching him die. He had to kill the radical core of the story to save the product. And here is the final mind-bending twist in this whole conspiracy. The victim celebrates the crime. Palahniuk himself says he likes the movie's ending better. He praises how it cleaned up his messy, chaotic plot. The perfect heist, it seems, is the one where the person you just robbed turns around and thanks you for it.
So, after all that, after looking at all the evidence, what is the final verdict on this Hollywood conspiracy?
The verdict is in. The movie isn't an adaptation. It's a rebuttal. David Fincher took Palahniuk's bleak, nihilistic philosophy, put it on trial in front of millions, and found it guilty. And then he replaced it with this stylish, romantic, explosive vision that was way more sellable and way more profitable. He didn't just tell the story, he defeated its original message. Which, of course, leaves us with one last question. Which Fight Club is the real one? Is it the one in the bleak pages of the book, the one that ends in a psych ward? Or is it the one in that iconic, explosive final shot of the film? The one you can buy on a t-shirt? The one that, just maybe, ended up owning you after all?